What do you guys think of the Zuckerberg and Elon Musk?
You know, I think what's crazy is that boxing still brings the biggest paydays, but the nail in the coffin to
Shawn Chase.
I'm Jake Shields.
What's up, guys? It's Brad Tavares.
Dan Ige.
Punahele Soriano here.
This is David Nino Rodriguez, and you're watching the Fighters Table.
Which was like, no one in the mainland knew it, and it'd be sold out to Blaisdell. It's like, it's crazy.
Yeah, Rumble in the Rock was insane.
Late 2000s, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. And it was more like 2000, I don't know, somewhere around there. I don't know, a long time ago.
10-ish, right around there.
Nine,
no, before that. It was before that.
Yeah, I can't keep track of the years.
Yeah, because I moved here in 09, and you had already fought. So it had to have been,
you're right. It had to be 08 or something.
Yeah, at latest 09, but probably before that 08.
Yeah, and like I said, they were selling out the Blaisdell and stuff then. It was, UFC would just be so massive there. I couldn't imagine how big it would be.
They've teased it a couple times, but like, I don't,
Bro,
they don't make
when I first got into the UFC, that's all we kept hearing. Oh, UFC Hawaii, UFC Hawaii. And I would literally get my hopes up. Like, yeah. UFC Hawaii. I tell my manager, like, hey, just hold me out. I like, they're saying UFC Hawaii. And then I just got smart to it. Like, it ain't going to happen. It's not going to happen.
I feel like if there's a time, right now is the time, like with Max.
Right?
Yeah, and Max not being the champion, they can easily do a fight night over there. It doesn't have to be a big pay-per-view, but they can easily sell out the Blaisdell and put on a good show.
How many people does that arena fit?
Blaisdell is only
like 10,000?
Nah, less.
8?
Yeah,
8,000?
At least like 8 probably. Yeah.
Maybe that's why they're not, because they're doing like 20,000 seater arenas.
Yeah, but they just did the Virgin Hotel. They just did like somewhere in North Carolina. It was like a 6,000.
Apex has like
Bro,
people
even before COVID though. Remember they fought at somewhere in Brazil, like Genesis something, and it was like, it looked like they were in like a literal like high school gymnasium.
Right.
And I was like, dude, if you guys can do a show there all the way in Brazil, you know what I mean? Like I would understand if it's Vegas, everything is here. Okay, we'll just drive it over there to whatever. But if you can go all the way to Brazil in a little venue and do a fight night or whatever it is, like, why can't you do it in Hawaii? But I don't know.
I heard it's like the tourism, the HTA, like the UFC wants too much money and they don't want to pay it, but they'll pay millions of dollars for the freaking rail system. Then it just makes no sense.
Yeah, but right now is when they would need it in Hawaii with the forest fire, with the fires and everything. This would be the perfect time to do it. Charity, you know.
That would
give back to the people. That'd be the perfect time.
That's a good way to pitch it. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah.
This is the time to do it right now.
Exactly. I agree. You guys still have family back there?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Not
on Maui. Mostly Oahu.
Yeah, my wife's family is from Maui. She's from Maui. Luckily, the fires didn't hit where they are, so they're safe. But man, they're like, my father-in-law was like up all day yesterday, all night, helping out at War Memorial. That's one of the shelters they built. Yeah, it's crazy there. Like the stories that we're hearing coming in, like personally. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Are they starting to get the fires under control? Do you know? Or no?
It's not as wild as it was yesterday, but they're still going.
Yeah, I saw some videos this morning. Yeah, it was crazy. Like,
Lahaina is gone.
Lahaina is gone.
Yeah,
it's gone. And it's
that's like the only place I've been to in Hawaii.
Yeah,
it's gone.
It's such an iconic city, and it's just gone. And it's crazy though. It's like we're hearing like the actual stories coming in. Like you're already seeing like people's posts and whatnot,
the surface
out
stuff.
there. Yeah, and that's in itself. But then you hear like friends of ours work at the hospitals or are first responders, you know, like firefighters, police officers, EMTs, and the things they're seeing is crazy. You know, this is gonna have big effects, like not just what is happening, like people dying, losing all of their things, but like I think like the mental stuff afterwards, trying to rebuild after that, like, man.
I mean, yeah, Maui's one of the most popular destinations in the world, and that's like, one of the most popular towns there. Like you said, the people dying, multiple deaths. I hear stories of people jumping in the ocean trying to get away. It's just madness.
Bro, and there's terrifying. Even this morning, like they're still like fishing people out of the ocean because they drowned trying to get away from the fire.
Yeah, a lot of people probably drown. I bet it's true. They jump in the water. You can't swim that well, but I would take my chances with the ocean over burning.
Yeah. We were just talking. This is probably like the biggest tragedy Hawaii's ever experienced. Like they had the tsunami back in what is that, the
60, 61
yeah, 60s, but like this is just to another level. I mean,
so when the timing's right, bringing a fight there would be huge. Yeah, when the timing's right. Like right now, it's 2 cents.
When it rebuilds a little bit.
When it rebuilds a little bit, bring a fight there for the people, and that'd be huge.
Yeah,
that would be huge.
I think so too.
Boost morale. It would. It would be a smart move. time. What's the biggest thing that has changed that's a constant in today's MMA as opposed to when you guys all started your respective careers?
I've been in the game forever, so as far as changes, it's a lot more popular, which is great, you know. So it's cool. There's a show, a UFC pretty much every week. There used to be a UFC like every 3 months. We'd sit waiting, so it's just amazing like how many fighters there are. Back in the day, I like knew every single UFC fighter. I don't know like 2/3 of them now. Sometimes I'm kind of embarrassed about that because I don't watch it that closely. But it's also a great thing that so many. And another big one's worldwide. It's massive. I travel the world. I get recognized, going to Peru, like Costa Rica, Asia. It used to not be like that. It's insane. I can travel anywhere in the world and get recognized now. So
I think the biggest shift that's happened to me, because my boxing's background, right? I was a heavyweight fight boxer. To me, is the hybrid now. Yeah, you got people like Jake Paul. Like this is like I call it the Jake Paul experiment because I've never seen anything like that. They would never in my day let us just handpick. The commission would ever let it happen. You can just handpick guys out of the MMA and come to my. So right now what we're watching is something that's kind of growing organically, but it's new. So what I would like to get these guys' feedback on this. This is kind of crazy because it really is to me the Jake Paul experiment. What he's doing is changing both sports. Because remember back in the day you had boxing and then you had Butterbean.
Right.
Yeah.
Now you have boxing and you have Jake Paul. Right. So what is this that's happening right now? And the fact and the fact that he's able to just handpick who he wants, I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
They don't allow that, not in boxing.
And you're seeing a lot of you've seen cross athlete and like Chad Ochocinco went and boxed, and you're seeing Darren Williams and all these guys are.
Why wasn't this happening when I was fighting, dude?
You'd be cleaning up nice, right?
I'm like, no, too late.
Bro, we're all sitting here like looking at him like, pick me next.
Yeah.
He won't pick
the paydays are ridiculous. I mean,
they get in M's. You know what I mean? Like we're making thousands. Like I've been in the UFC for since 2010, 13 going on 14 years. Not even seeing like close to that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I just started like in these last couple contracts making like good money or decent money, I should say, but not on that level.
Right.
Like, bro, sign me up.
Life changing.
Nate's getting paid. I know that.
Yes, exactly. Sign me up. Like the fighter in me, of course, I'm looking at Jake Paul like, dude, you're annoying. I would smash you like in whatever it is. But I respect his hustle.
Businessman.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a hustle.
The
dude actually, he can throw a little too, man. He's in shape. He's big.
And
he's hard.
He's
his
devoted
conditioning
himself
was
to it.
Yeah.
Like he's taking it seriously.
If I had to
Discipline.
grade him on a fighting scale, like a report card, I'd give him a C- as a boxer.
Yeah.
He'll never break.
Yeah.
And he'll never break the top 20, top 25. He's not. I told everyone he's gonna lose against Tommy Fury. He did, and then I said the next move he's gonna make is a lateral move, which will be Nate Diaz. I called it. You could go look. I timestamped the video, and he did. He picked Nate, and I was like, "This is gonna be a tough fight because Nate boxes." I had Nate throw punches at me here at the gym in Vegas, him and Nick, and I was working defense and working with him. But Nate has some pop, and he's resilient, and he's not going to stop. And I knew he's going to give Jake Paul a tough fight, but I ultimately picked Jake Paul because Jake Paul's going to be more technically sound. And that ultimately is what got him through the fight. But I would like to see that rematch and see Nate get another payday like that. And because now this one I'd edge out to Nate a little more because now Nate felt his power. And now Nate felt him a little bit. I'd lean towards Nate a little more this next one.
I agree.
But then I think he's going to handpick McGregor. Conor McGregor. I bet you something tells me they're going that direction.
I see it kind of going that direction as well.
But what a gig. What a gig. You can just pick who you want to fight.
So nice.
I mean,
that
guy's got it made.
What did he fight at? 190, I think. Nate,
I think maybe,
85,
yeah.
I think he's picking 190, and he's fighting guys that are like 55 pounds,
Right,
70
right.
pounds,
Yeah,
the biggest.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
making them go up, 20,
Even
30, 40
Woodley,
pounds.
even Woodley.
But who has it
Yeah,
better than
yeah.
that? You get to pick who you want.
It's because he's got the money. The guys know that they're
It's
going to get
the social media.
massive
I mean,
payday.
it's
It
just
really
unbelievable.
is.
It's a different
That's all it is.
animal.
That's
It's
all
just
it
the
is.
power and the influence of
But
the
I'll fight
social
him
media. Yeah.
Imagine you just get to pick who you want to fight all the time. It'd be like, all right,
kinda scary or
I'll be
something.
champion for the next 10 years.
I'd like to see him cross into MMA, and
He'll never do
I don't.
that.
He says he will.
He's saying he will.
But
Because he's got to keep the excitement going. He's got to
Yeah.
make people think it's the real deal. He ain't doing that.
Yeah.
why
I told Nate, I know it was against I told BJ Penn, good for, I said, tell Nate, if he gets in trouble, I don't know, an elbow wouldn't hurt.
KSI did it, right?
He threw up a
it was like a
guillotine.
week before that fight got
I'm sure it's in
overturned.
the contract you can't do that, but I mean, maybe a headbutt or I don't know.
Yeah, you had him in that choke.
Yeah, in the show.
Yeah, something in the contract where
That
you would
was
have
great.
got you got a big fine, I think. So let that go.
That's hilarious.
Bro, that was funny because I seen after Jake Paul's like, yeah, he was actually choking me.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. He was like, I really couldn't breathe when he had me in there. Yeah, definitely the sport is, I mean, it's global at this point. I think it's replaced soccer as
But
the
still,
worldwide
they're still
sport.
going to boxing for the bigger paydays. Tyson Fury and Ngannou, right? Francis Ngannou.
Yep.
Look what's happening. This
Even
is
influencers, they're not going
That's
into
just-
MMA.
oh my
They're
gosh.
doing, like, TikTokers are doing, like, let's box.
I
You
just
know, it's-
can't. I don't understand this. it's just to me. I'm ashamed in a way, but like I said, let's put the sport aside, boxing, and then here's the circus tent on the side.
Right.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and like I think, the fight game in general is the most popular it's ever been. I mean, just
100%.
looking at everything that's evolving from it. Like I went to Power Slap last night, and it was wild.
Yeah, fuck that.
Wild. I mean, the atmosphere was pretty electric.
Is
though.
that
It's-
what I saw some dude wearing a shirt that said slap on it. I was like, is that what's happening?
Yeah, that was
it's here
last
in
night.
Vegas last night.
It's at
Really?
the Apex, yeah.
What do you guys think of the Zuckerberg and Elon Musk? You
wanna
think
see
that's
it.
going to happen?
I don't think so, but I hope so.
I don't think it'll
think so.
happen, but I hope so as
Right?
well. I think
I
it'll
don't
be the
think so.
biggest fighting.
They said they're going to do it at the
Who do
Roman
you give it to?
Coliseum.
Yes, I heard about
I give it
that.
That's
to
definitely
I give it to Zuckerberg.
Yeah,
Oh,
that-
100%.
Doesn't he like actually train?
He does
Yeah.
train.
He's
Yeah.
got like a six pack.
He's in
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu tournaments and stuff.
A dork fight. Dude, that'd be the greatest thing in the world. Two dorks.
Bro,
It'd be amazing.
but you know what it is so like back to what you were touching on is that it ain't even boxing. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's entertainment.
Yeah.
It's entertainment.
Yeah.
It's like the new age of WWE is what
Yeah,
it is.
it is.
And it's like and I get it. Like being a fighter, it is hard for us because one, we're like, dude, these guys are clowns. We know
They're
we
not
would,
athletes.
we know
They're
we
not-
would
yeah.
kill these guys,
Yeah,
right?
they're not- yeah.
And then two, the other hard pill to swallow is like I'm working my ass off, and this guy
We're getting
is
there, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm sharing
That's
the
what I'm saying, but that's the
spotlight with these
commission
guys,
doing
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
You can't blame anybody but the commission.
Yeah.
The athletic commissions, dude. There was guys like I would fight that were like in boxing. I wouldn't even get looked at until I was 20-0, 25-0. Then people started looking. How are you just coming out of the gate picking who you want and demanding millions of dollars?
Social media.
That's
Yeah,
people
so
pay.
exactly.
So
They're
that's what it
famous
is.
on
That's
social
what's
media.
changing the game.
Exactly.
That's changed the game.
Social media has changed everything. I mean, there used to be like 20 years ago, the only celebrities you'd see were like athletes, musicians, actors. Now, I mean, you go on social media and you develop a following, you're technically a celebrity.
Yeah.
You
I think
know?
you ask
So-
kids what you want to be now, and they say it was like YouTuber before like actor, musician.
Influencer. I want to be an influencer.
So that's like
okay.
big. That's like the new actors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're seeing like, I feel like lately we've been seeing more so than ever, like civilians sort of start shit with fighters. You're seeing it like in press conferences, like with Jake and Nate. You're seeing it with Kevin Holland and the dude that tried to take a photo with him, and that was crazy, by the way. And then Jalen with the prankster, with So, is that because the sport is becoming so popular that people are just muddling the line between respect and disrespect, or is it just people are trying to get?
Dude,
that
I think it's
10
the, I
15
think this
seconds
all
of
goes
fame?
hand in hand. I think it's the degeneration of society too. I mean, look how bad we're declining.
Yeah,
Like, let's just be honest,
bro. That's what yeah.
I
It's
mean-
like we're going into like a pussy age. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? This cancel culture
Yes.
bullshit.
You
Like
can't speak your mind
Exactly.
without worrying
Dude,
about
you get
someone coming out.
canceled and you get strikes on YouTube talking against these people, like talking, and then it's, oh, you're bullying. But I'm like, but this guy's like this. There's a dude on there right now that I just watched today that's going into houses in the UK, and like, have you seen this guy?
I saw the
He was
guy
on
talking
Piers
about-
Oh, I
Morgan.
did see that.
He goes into houses, bro, and just sits on the couch while the families are there.
Well, they have, like, the
and he
kids and
records
stuff.
himself. He has kids there, and he's like acts like he's part of the family. And people are like, dude, get out of my house. He's like, I don't think so. And he starts playing with the remote.
Oh.
But they don't have guns over there.
Yeah.
Right here, it'd be like, oh,
Yeah,
really?
Stay right there. I'll be right back. Yeah.
But like the people are just doing more and more outlandish shit for likes and views.
Yeah.
And it's getting crazy. It's getting out of hand. It's way out of hand. It's already out of hand.
Crazy. Yeah. I just feel like you can't say anything anymore without some group coming out and getting offended and trying to
what?
take your head off.
Yeah, the woke culture. It's
We were on Sean
Sure.
Kelly's show, and me and Jamal Hill actually, and he asked us, and it's our opinion. Like I've been playing basketball my whole life. Jamal's been playing basketball his whole life. He was like, "Do you guys think you can beat a WNBA player 1-on-1?" I mean, Jamal's like 6'4", so like
I would bet on him.
Yeah, and I was like,
sure.
I've been playing basketball since I was 7 years old. I was like, yeah, I think so. We were eviscerated by the media afterwards. I mean, people came out, you Andrew Tate types. I'm like, how? Where's the correlation? How?
Yeah.
I'm just saying that.
I'll be honest with you, man. And since we're on that subject, I have a hard time watching women fight, dude. I was old school, bro. I grew up in the gyms in Rocky Galarza's gym in the barrio in El Paso, and the women weren't allowed in the gym. It messed up the energy of the men training there. It just did.
Is there any female fighter that you're like, okay, I'll watch her? I think
Not really.
Really? Not even Nunez?
Nah.
Your time?
No, I mean, seriously, bro. It's just that I find it very, in my opinion, just distasteful. And I don't care to say it.
No,
I mean, I don't care.
Yeah, of course.
But I mean, it is what it is. That's just, what do you learn? I just not my thing.
I have a hard time watching it. I respect the women. I think
Yeah.
they're tough. But
No,
I have a hard time watching
some are
women
tougher than
fighting.
dudes. Let's not lie
Speaking
about
on
that.
the topic, where are we at with this? I remember you said that, the
Where they at?
transsexuals
they
coming
at?
into the MMA world and trying to compete, and you were very vocal about it. And then, if I'm not mistaken, one of the members of the community came out and agreed to. And then Bud Light said they were going to sponsor it.
Yeah, sponsored by Bud Light.
Should I raise some sponsorship for this? Is this where we at with this?
Basically, I was critical because there's men saying they're women coming in and beating up, real women.
Yep.
Which is crazy they're allowing that. So
Fallon
I kind of
Fox.
just jokingly sent off a
Wild.
tweet being like, I'll fight the 10 toughest trans women or trans men in the world one after the next. That'd be an easy payday if they want to do it. And then somehow they went like crazy viral. And then a couple of these like trans men like publicly called me out, but then I just DM'd them and they all right away were like, oh, I don't actually want to fight you. I'm just trying to use this.
I'm just trying to get
fight-
likes.
They're like, I'm just trying to use this. Maybe I could like fight someone on the same card, just like not as good as you, like smaller. I'm just like,
There's social media again. Someone coming out and tweeting something, and then
Yeah, and then like I said, they would publicly call me out. The news would be like, so-and-so's going to fight him. Then I'd DM, hey, was the fight on? No. I just want to try to beat up 10 trans men. That'd be the easiest payday ever.
I mean, should be on the undercard of
And they're men.
Zuckerberg
I'm
and
respecting
Musk.
their gender.
Yeah, wasn't Fallon Fox? She came and actually competed, and she lost to Ashley Evans Smith, I believe, in a fight.
Yeah,
as
there was
well.
another one recently. I can't remember the name that was doing it and went and just like beat up some. It was actually a pretty close fight, but beat some girl. And it's so ridiculous to me that they're like allowing that. People are acting like that's normal. Like I think it was like Showtime or someone's doing a documentary on it. They went and brought me out. It's all like pro this dude. And they brought me out. I'm like the bad guy. The people that are putting this documentary on, they hadn't really thought any of this through logically. They're probably going to edit it up because they were just so. It was like 4 of them trying to debate me, and they were just so stumped when I'm just. Like, well, why should this person not be allowed to compete? Like, compete against men. It was born a man. He can compete.
Didn't Dave Chappelle make a joke about it where he's like, imagine if LeBron James decided to just
Gonna go in the WNBA.
and go and score average 10,000 points a game. Like,
No, I don't know if it was in a movie or it was just a skit, but you see the one where they're like, oh yeah, so if Mike Tyson decides that he's identifying as a woman, he should be allowed to box women. And then like it was like some senator or whatever saying, yeah, that's
yeah.
And then
Yeah, like, where's
they
the line?
no, and then they had a skit. And
But they really said that, though. The
of
person,
Mike
yeah, said
Tyson, like look-alike, dressed up as a woman and just smoked this chick. And even the chick was like I don't want to fight him, her, whatever. Bro, it was funny.
South Park was making fun of this like years
Years
ago. Dude.
ago.
Yeah.
South Park.
South Park's made fun of everything
Yeah.
before it's happened, man.
South Park been on it.
Yeah, that's South Park and The Simpsons. Those two have like called out
Predicted, yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
current events
Like,
years before it
even
happens, man.
100%.
I don't understand how, but I want to get into some of the evolution of MMA. Brad, you said something about evolve or get left in the dust.
Yep.
You made an infamous quote about that. And you see some of these guys that are evolving and learning new things,
Yep.
and they have longevity in their careers. How important is that? And also, how fast is the sport evolving in today's age as opposed to like even a few years ago?
Oh, you can see it. Like if you look back to like Jake's time when he was there, like the evolution to now, like all of these fighters coming up. The other thing is like how we spoke about how because the sport is so big and all the eyes are on it, the popularity of this, to that, how mainstream it has become, the younger kids want to do it. Like you see these kids that are young that want to become MMA fighters. Like for me, when I was young, I didn't ever think about fighting. It's something that growing up in Hawaii and getting into fights, I kind of stumbled upon. You know, like I never thought like, oh, what do I want to be when I grow up? But like, if I had to say, I would probably would rather have been in the NFL, you know, something like that, just because that's what I loved growing up. But you see these kids now, they want to be UFC fighters. They want to be UFC champions.
And they're coming into the pros that are like Raul Rosas, like
18 years old.
Still in high school.
And they're starting young and they're training it young. So by the time they get there, they're very evolved. You know what I mean? And then they haven't even hit their like real grown man strength yet. Right. So like Raul Rosas, yeah, he's good and whatnot, doing his thing right now. Yeah, for sure not. He's only gonna get better. He's gonna get like, and you know, hopefully he doesn't get burnt out before then, because he has started so young and he's been doing it for so long. But back in the day, I feel like you've seen these waves. Like when the UFC first came out, right? It was jiu-jitsu. Like there was a lot of like outside of Hoist Gracie, it was like striking, right? And then everybody seen Hoist come in and smashing everybody using jiu-jitsu. So then people started doing that. And then as the game evolved, then you seen the wrestling wave come in, and the ground and pound, like the Colemans, Tito's, those type of guys, Randy. And then that's where the game started going. And then so the strikers started learning to wrestle. And then you see an evolution again, and you just keep seeing it on this wave, this upward trajectory. But now, like nowadays, you see these very, very skilled, well-rounded fighters that have been wrestling and boxing and doing jiu-jitsu from young ages, and now they're old enough, they're men, and putting it all together.
See, that's what's crazy to me, is because I've also watched the evolution in MMA, and I'm back in the day when a fighter was an anomaly. You didn't see it. Like when I was boxing, that like De La Hoya, people like that, like we were anomalies back in the day. Like people weren't raised to be. I started boxing at 5 years old. That was unheard of, like that. And now that's like a common thing. Kids are like jiu-jitsu, everything. Like if you want your kid to survive in today's world, he better learn how to fight really early, young. Like at 5.
Yeah.
Back in the day, that was unheard of. Like, and that's what. To me, it's just like so crazy to me to witness and see. I'm like, wow, man, I never would have thought in a million years that fighting would have gone this direction. Like it would become mainstream.
Right.
Because it was, like I said, it was an anomaly back in the day. Right. Now it's mainstream.
It's gotten so mainstream, in fact, that I feel like since the pandemic, when like everything shut down, because I just take it from my point of view. I've been watching for 15 years now, so I remember the last 5 years, for example, a lot of my friends, close friends, I'd watch it, but you want to come over and watch? They're like, nah, we don't watch fights and stuff like that. I'm like, all right.
Sport Barrett.
Yeah, and then the pandemic happened and everything shut down. People were depressed. And then Dana moved mountains and got the Jacksonville card going and brought sports back. In that year, every single person that wasn't a fight fan and didn't watch, now they're seeking me out, and they're like, "Oh, hey, did you watch that card? Who's that guy?" And they're learning, they're absorbing the information. They've become fans, and now it's the point where everyone watches it now.
Yeah,
everybody.
You know, what's crazy is that boxing still brings the biggest paydays, but the nail in the coffin to boxing was MMA, 100%. Because I remember the heyday of boxing was the 90s. Like that was really the last big decade of the boxing. And then when MMA came in, the new thing arrived. You know, the boxing ended with the Tysons, the Roy Jones, and now it's just kind of quietly coexisting with MMA, but like somehow or another, it's still bringing the bigger paydays, which blows my mind.
Dana does a good job of not paying the fighters. He's done a great job of keeping.
There you go. That's what it is.
He'll buy shows just to put them out of business. He does that.
Wow.
Did that with Pride. Did it with Strikeforce. They started stealing fighters from the UFC with.
Isn't he doing the slap stuff now too? Like,
Dana created the power slap.
No,
he founded power slap. I think it originated like in Eastern Europe, I think like in Russia or somewhere. I've been watching it there for years.
All the crazy shit came from Russia.
And then Dana like sanctioned it and turned it into a sport. He polished it.
Wow.
Wouldn't call it a sport.
What about bare knuckle boxing? Like, does he have his hands on that?
No, that's Dave Feldman.
Yeah,
David Feldman.
I read something. They said like the UFC makes more combined than every single MMA promotion, like PFL, Bellator,
by far,
WSOF
combined,
and Top Rank and all the boxing promotions combined.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Wow. And then so what's the top dollar that MMA guys make?
Probably Connor. Connor's probably raking in the most.
It's hard to know because guys give you numbers.
There's a lot of disclosed.
They don't put it out there.
They'll put like the they'll put what they want you to see out there, but there's so much more behind the scenes.
They'll put like
points and all
the
that
commissioned purse out there.
Right.
That's public knowledge.
Some of the big stars have like, especially the bigger stars are the ones more likely to have the backdoor money, you know?
Yeah. So like, how do the sponsors work? Does the UFC take a piece of that as well?
we don't have sponsors anymore.
Yeah, we used to have good money sponsors. But they killed that.
It's all Venom. It's whoever that has an overall deal with the UFC now.
Yeah.
And it's like percentage out.
Monster.
Right?
It's off of your fight. So back in 2015 when Reebok, they did the whole, because what UFC is trying to do is get uniformed, right? Like look like the NBA,
Like
look
NBA,
like the NFL. Yeah, exactly. So they wanted to uniform us head to toe, only one sponsor. And then they have a few smaller ones like Monster and whatever, this, that, whatever. But anyway, Reebok was the main one. So you're wearing Reebok head to toe, and now it's Venom. And the way you get paid now is by the amount of fights. So like 0 to 5 fights, you get paid X amount of dollars. 6 to 10 fights, X amount of dollars. 11 to 15 fights, X amount of dollars. 16 and up.
So then why aren't more MMA guys should be going into boxing? Jake Paul's got a good gig.
I think I think even any MMA fighter, the biggest one, I think any of them will take a boxing.
Absolutely.
If the fight was there,
The thing is, they get stuck.
I didn't know
all my
it was
friends were all
that
like, "I'll do it in a
bad.
heartbeat."
They get stuck in UFC contracts though, so they'd have to like leave they'd have to fight their contract out, and it's not that easy because they'll like UFC
So that was the
will
big
hold you
problem with
and-
Francis. Francis, when they were renegotiating his deal, he was very adamant about, let me also box. I want to be able to go and box the big guys, and that wasn't.
Wow.
But that's why Francis
I
waited his
didn't
contract
know.
out. Nate waited his contract out. A lot of the biggest stars are just waiting their contracts out.
Like
and leaving.
GSP stuck in a contract, which is why he can't.
Unbelievable, man.
And he's retired.
Yeah, they won't let him box.
And they go fight a social media guy.
Yeah.
But I also think like your general person, like if you just walked up to them on the street, like they don't know what PFL is, they don't know what Bellator is, they know what the UFC is. So it's like,
Well, they think that's the sport. That's why.
yeah,
You know what
they
I mean?
really do. Like,
Yeah.
oh, do you
Also
do
big.
UFC?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, a lot of.
Do you train UFC?
It's extremely extremely common for fighters to take huge pay cuts to go in the UFC. I know I did because I wanted to fight GSP. I know a lot of guys from Bellator.
Because it's the
They'll
marketing-
take like
the marketing
They'll
tool.
take like half the money, which sucks to have to take half the money to go into what's supposed to be the premier organization. And a lot of guys will leave because they can get twice as much money in other places.
Yeah.
So but the champs in the UFC make more, and you get more
Yeah.
fame, and there's more.
But I mean, the
fame,
injuries
yeah.
you guys sustain, and like I've always thought, like boxing in its own way is a lot more brutal due to the head punches, right? The consistent, and these guys are like that really land
It's
these.
brutal because you can you could be dropped, severely hurt, and then give you a 10 count. To get
Exactly.
out.
That's what I mean. That's right
That's
there.
the most dangerous aspect.
But I mean, just the physical injuries that come with MMA, like just what you sustain in like
Knees,
training,
kicks,
and knees,
and elbows.
Yeah, that's just insane. I mean,
I'm sure everyone here, like we go into fights injured because like we don't have insurance, so we want to get our injury covered through the fight.
And you don't get paid if you don't fight too.
I've gone into fights with
100%.
herniated disc and freaking shoulders blown out. It's like, number one, I need to get paid, but also I want to get my injury taken care of. But it's crazy.
well, I mean, in today's social media just started OnlyFans, dude. There you go.
Unfortunately, it's only the girls getting paid for that.
Yeah,
I
that's
know
what I'm saying.
I know some girls that are getting like 200 grand a month.
Ridiculous.
Insanity. I mean, it's
It's just, I'm telling you, bro, it's a decline of humanity completely.
social media.
It is.
Social media is
Anything
now-
goes. It's like back in the day in the 1930s, 1920s, you used to have to go to a circus tent to go see the bearded lady and the freaks. Now it's just
ordered on pay-per-view.
coming out of their basement.
Yes, and, like everyone is a brand. Like Dan, you said something about having to take some time and rebuild your brand. That's really important. I feel like the more you build your brand, everyone here is Jake's a brand. Everyone's a brand. Everyone's a self brand. So the more you preserve that and condition that, I feel like you have longer careers. You've seen guys that are like Jamal is crushing it on social media, and you're seeing it. He's really developing.
Personality, dude. Personality sells. That's what it is. The colorful fighters, you don't have to fight that well. And if you're being looked at and people can identify with you, you got exactly.
That's what it is, right?
Because Jake Paul has the balls to get out there and be, fortune favors the bold, right? I've been watching him, man. I'm like, what's he doing? Like, this is different. I'm intrigued by it.
Yeah, I am too. Mainly because he had so many critics and doubters when he started.
Right.
And that's to me the most impressive thing. It's like he was like an army of one. Everybody was doubting him.
Yeah.
And seeing what he's been able to cultivate is
And I known some of his trainers, and I knew they were teachers. Because look, you can have trainers now that don't know dick, and they just train people to train them. But then there's teachers. There's real boxing teachers, and I know Jake Paul has those teachers. And so when I knew he was really learning from real guys, I was like, oh, this is different. He's learning from real guys.
Yeah, he was smart. He hired great trainers,
and he's working hard.
Worked hard.
I've heard he's a hard worker and he's learning and he's a sponge.
I've heard he's completely devoted to it. Like
He
He takes care of his body,
Reads it, yeah.
does all the right things, all the recovery aspects.
Don't we all though?
Yeah, I know. I'm just.
Nah. I don't have to put him on a pedestal. Well,
I mean,
we'll all do it too.
I gotta respect him. He's just
No,
doing
yeah,
it right.
I do. I mean, the Paul brothers they've definitely done a lot. You know, even Logan with the Prime. Who thought Prime would knock out Gatorade and Body Armor, man? That's like, I feel like in a matter of a month, that thing took over, you know, and it's everywhere now.
That's what I'm saying. Just everything's going. It's just crazy to watch all these different tentacles.
Nothing moves the way it did like 10, 15 years ago.
No, or
Everything
even 2
moved
years
over
ago.
even 2
2 years ago. Everything's just, it's just kind of like going wild, everything. And you're just watching everything and see what happens.
Yeah, no, just like that. When I was at the Paul Diaz fight, it was sold out. I mean, I think Diaz is the bigger name, but still, it's completely sold out. Like the crowd was crazy. It just shows you how massive he's gotten so quick.
Yep. Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh,
And the fact that Nate's willing to go and fight him because he knows it's a huge payday. So
Yeah. That was very entertaining. That whole thing was great.
I watched
Just
it.
Watching Jake care so much, and then watching Nate just be Nate and just be like, fuck
Nate
this.
fights
That was
like
so
he's
great.
looks like he's had like a bunch of he looks drunk every time he's in there, and he's just kind of like he's so relaxed, and that's the key to boxing. At least boxing is being relaxed, so relaxed.
Right.
And that's Nate. He was relaxed. I was like, oh, he's gonna do well.
Isn't that how it should be in fighting in general?
Absolutely,
right?
yeah. Well, what survives a car accident? The drunk guy. Every time he walks away, everyone else is
Tensed up,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
That's true. That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, the industry is moving at such a crazy pace that you can't keep up with it. Like they just announced, speaking of Dylan Dennis and Logan Paul. Did you hear about that?
Dylan's
And there's a
awful.
pull-out clause in there.
That's
So he can't-
smart though. That's
yes,
smart.
that's the
'Cause
smartest
that
thing about the
fucker-
whole thing.
Dude, that guy is. I don't know how. I do not follow this guy. I do not look at his shit. But every time I'm on a post, the first comment I always see is fucking his.
But that's his shtick.
how he stays relevant.
It's to be like the king troll. He's like, I'm gonna get under everybody's skin. I'm gonna piss everyone
So
off.
here it
and-
is. They know how to work the social media. That's it.
Yeah.
That's
He
it.
flew-
They
he
just know
flew-
how
He's
to
had
work that.
two, if I'm not mistaken, two professional fights.
I believe
Yeah.
so.
Why do you hear
Against
his name
total nobodies.
everywhere? It's because of his social
Right.
media.
When he
Yeah.
flew himself to Ireland to go train Conor McGregor, he flew out there and like, hey, can I help? Got his name out there through him. And
Yeah.
he
That's-
talked
he really
crap.
did.
He got beat up by Khabib. Makes him, that's the guy that Khabib beat up.
Yep. Yeah. Now he has to pay Logan Paul $100 grand.
Does he
pulls
have
out.
actual like grappling accolades?
He was a good grappler at one point, but now he's like fallen off. I don't think he really trains anymore.
Yeah.
He was actually really good for a while. I had a match. I beat him in a match, but
Yeah.
he was really good, and then he got kicked
Is he
out of
even
Marcelo
still
Garcia's.
signed with Bellator? Because Scott Coker came out months ago and he was like, I don't even know.
I don't think he trains anymore. I think he just drinks.
Who do
and
you used to
talks
train
crap.
under?
Marcelo Garcia.
Yeah.
So he was legit. He won worlds. I think it's blue, purple, and brown belt. And he got his black belt. And that's kind of when he started. He was like right in contendership, and then he kind of like got into like trying to hype himself instead of competing.
I remember his first Bellator fight. He had a very impressive. He had like a toe hold submission or something, which I hadn't seen. It was crazy.
He was legit, but I don't think he's legit anymore. I think his grappling's not very good. I mean, I saw
It passed him by.
Paulo Costa
Sport.
showed me. I don't know if he posted it, but showed a video where he was just tossing him around. They were like drinking at a bar.
Didn't like a bouncer at a nightclub
Beat
put
him
him in a
up.
chokehold?
But no, I mean, Paulo's talented, obviously.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But Paulo picked him up and like threw him on the ground. He had him in a headlock, and I think Dylan. It was like they were like kind of messing around, kind of serious. I don't know if he posted it or not, but he showed me at least, and it was just like oh, Dylan sucks.
Oh, man.
And he's like, yeah, the guy was weak. I just picked him up like a child, and he's like, I don't think he's been training or anything. He was like flabby looking.
Shit. Yeah, nowadays, man, like we were saying, the sport evolves so fast. You take a year off and it's like you've taken 3 years off.
An eternity, yeah.
Before you could take like 6 months off. You come back, it's like no ring rust. Now a guy who takes a year off comes back and it's like he's a different person almost.
Wow.
And it's not him. It's just the sports. It's just moments.
To me, it seems like not just MMA, boxing, whatever. Just reality is like going through bottleneck of time right now. Like it seems to me like time and space is like just zoom, faster. Like these last 2 years, dude. These last 3 years, since COVID, I'm like,
Yeah,
what
what's happening?
the hell's going
Yeah,
on?
it's like sensory
like,
overload.
right? Like
Yeah,
it's just
100%.
like zoom, like
Yeah.
so fast.
Yeah, just different stuff.
Bro, for
happening
me, it's
constantly.
like ever since I had my kids, like I'm like, dude, the days are getting shorter. Like it's just
You get older, and time just speeds up.
Yeah.
It's messed up.
When
Like,
did you
what's
have your
happening?
kids?
I have a daughter that's 5. She'll be 6, and then I have another daughter that will be 2 in a couple months.
So it's just that's how you really see time go.
Yeah, 'cause then you really keep track.
Yeah.
It's easier to keep track of time with a kid. You're like, wait, it's been this long already?
How fast? You were just 2 years old yesterday. Now you're 6.
Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
Scary, man.
But I lose track of time, but with a kid, you're like, wait, 2 years? What the hell happened?
Yeah, that's. I mean, yeah, it really is like time and space just feels like it's just, just going through a bottle.
like this year, I feel like we just celebrated New Year's, like
Right?
yesterday.
The year's
We're
almost over. Yeah. And I was like,
doing
that's
New Year's
up.
toast.
Yeah.
Like fucking, I was supposed to fight in January in Brazil. I was gonna get ready to leave soon. I like remember like yesterday, and now it's almost fucking New Year's again.
We're living also in a day and age where there's so much going on.
So that's what it is. We have more
Every
options.
day. Like someone passes away, you're like, oh, I was such a fan of this guy. You know, he passed
Yeah.
away at 75. Like the next day, something else crazy
Yes,
happens,
yes.
and you
Dude,
completely forget.
remember-
about that. 24-hour news cycle.
Right. And
That's what
back
it
in the
is.
day when someone passed away, it'd be like on TV for a week and
For a
people would be
week.
sad. And like now it's like our consciousness is so spread in so many millions of different directions that literally, oh, Pee Wee Herman died. All right.
You're
just-
scrolling through.
I forgot about
you
that,
spend
dude.
10 seconds on it. You're like, that's so unfortunate, and you just keep
Yeah,
scrolling to the
keep
next
going.
thing.
It's an instant gratification, instant everything. It's just, and now you
Wait,
have more options.
Pee Wee
You can-
Herman died?
Yeah.
You said it with such a straight face. I was like, oh no.
No, but everything. I mean, it's because you have some more options in the hour. It's like more. You go to Starbucks. Like you used to just go to like Circle K and get a coffee. Now you can go to Starbucks and make your coffee 100 different ways.
Yeah. And
It's
there's
just more options
there's
within
TikTok, Instagram,
Right.
Twitter, Threads, just a million different ways. You just
And it's
get
not
in.
going to slow down. It's just going to keep.
It's speeding up.
Yeah,
even
AI
more.
is
Now
about to
with
take over.
AI,
It's really gonna get
oh
crazy.
God. I don't even know what's real anymore. I saw like Andrew Tate doing like a video of Andrew Tate saying things that he wouldn't say, and I'm like, this is AI. I'm like, there's no way he would.
We're not going to be able to tell reality from
anymore.
AI
Yeah.
like really soon. It might already be there. They
Well,
probably
that's
already
what
could
the
I think
see it.
strike
it's
in
already
Hollywood.
here.
One of the main reasons the strike in Hollywood is because like the studios are saying like we want to buy your likeness. You don't have to come be in a movie
Yeah.
anymore. We'll just create an AI generated version of you in the movie. Don't worry about coming and filming for 3 months.
I mean, look at Biden.
Yeah.
Can't tell me that guy's real.
An AI president.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
I think they'd do better if that was AI though than him. He'd be able to speak.
I mean, yeah.
He's like
it's-
malfunctioning. He's like the old model. They're like, we need to upgrade this guy.
They gotta change out their AI if that's the case.
yeah, the power of social media. David, you've done great on social media.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, it's kind of like a second birth for me. Like honestly, like lightning struck twice. Like boxing, 2015, I was done. I had back surgery. That was it. Once you have back surgery, forget it.
Yeah.
And then I hit podcasting, but I dove into the politics of like the deep state underbelly, the war of the deep state, what's happening right now politically. It's a completely different arena. Same thing though. It's a fighting arena, just a completely different chess game.
right. Yeah, because you parlayed into like you're
We got-
huge on social
We got
media.
Twitter paying us to tweet now. I'm getting paid to talk shit. This is great.
Yeah, it's nowadays, but like you can't even say your opinion anymore because like how you said earlier, someone will twist it and be like, "Oh, you're bullying or you're
Yeah.
hating on." I'm like, "How is this hate speech?" I'm just saying. Like,
Well, that's
I don't
why
like
people
this.
go to my channel because I just say what everyone's feeling, and it's been working.
Well,
But
now with Rumble, you got a good following on Rumble. I don't know how you
Rumble-
have almost 4,000 followers. The app's been out for like 6
Yeah.
months, and this guy's already on 4,000 subscribers.
No, I'm at 60-something thousand on
Oh,
Rumble.
now you've- oh my goodness.
And then on YouTube, I'm like coming to 300.
Yeah,
right?
YouTube, you're at the next level.
But it's because I dive deep into the political realm.
Right.
That's got all my attention now.
Got it.
It went from fighting that arena to a completely different arena.
Nice. Okay.
But I know this is not the podcast for us, so don't worry.
We'll bring you on. Well, yeah, we'll
not
put you on
gonna
a
go
political
there.
show
Yeah.
soon.
I don't want to get you bombed on YouTube, dude, right?
Demonetized. And
Yeah, like, guys, I've never had that guy on.
probably already will talk about trannies.
Yeah, dude, actually.
That was
yeah.
hate speech.
Yeah, I'm very curious about this. Should we start raising some sponsorships and get this? We should put it on Rumble and stream it on Rumble. I met the Rumble team last night at Power Slap. This
Yeah.
can get
nice.
done.
Yeah, no, it's great that Rumble is out there, alternative for the censorship of YouTube.
Totally.
And Elon Musk, I mean, they're still spinning people on Twitter, but not as bad. Because I
Well,
was,
you know,
it's
I
now
was
on my
called
last
X.
strike.
It's called X.
That's right,
now.
yeah.
I've tried to put up some videos on Rumble and they didn't take them.
Really?
So I know that they're because they're
controversial for
public
Rumble,
now.
huh?
Right? There's something going on,
Right.
And I've heard from other people too. So it's all
It's
how
not
you,
fully uncensored.
yeah. It's not. I don't think so, man.
Yeah.
I'm
He's like,
watching
I
it
tried
though.
to put up some beheading videos. They wouldn't take them.
No, yeah. Cartel.
I've
Yeah, my
still been
friends.
banned after Elon bought Twitter a few times. So
Yeah. Yeah, well, Twitter. I mean, well, X, whatever it is called now.
Yeah,
I mean, that's like paving the way.
Yeah,
and
and
then
then
Zuckerberg
Instagram
comes
made
up with Threads. But I mean, who's gonna? Oh, let's leave a platform that has free speech to where I'll be censored.
Yeah.
People
Like,
actually
no, I
want
don't
to be
think so.
censored. It's the weird part. They're like,
It's-
oh, let's
yeah,
go there
it's
where
true.
guys can't say their
Bro,
shit.
Yes.
people want
we won't
to
get
be
attacked on this
offended.
platform.
No,
Yeah.
people want to be offended. Like they're
really
looking
do.
for reasons
Yeah.
to be offended. Like they're just out there, like fucking, like please,
Searching for
Just
it.
why are you
just
walking
sniffing,
that
looking
way?
around,
You're
like
offending me. Yeah, like what the fuck is wrong with you people? Like you know what I mean? People just out there wanting to be fucking offended, and if they're not offended for themselves, they're gonna get like. Don't say that. Dan is offended. And he's
Yeah,
like,
if they're not
dare you say
offended,
that
they'll
about
start.
Hawaii?
Yeah. So, and Dan's like, I'm not offended at all. What are you talking about? You're fighting my battles for me now? But
what are you talking about? Yes, you are offended. That's so
You just don't know, Dan.
Dan.
I got this, Dan. Trust me, you're offended. Yeah, man. That's the society we live in these days.
Yeah, thankfully in fighting, people don't give a shit. We can still talk shit to each other, make jokes, and
Right.
people don't get mad. It's like
They
it seems
came
normal. We
after
forget
the-
sometimes.
They came after the comedic industry. Like stand-up comedians couldn't
I've
say
seen
anything.
that.
They
It's
tried to
terrible
cancel
now. Stand-up's
Chappelle.
terrible. I
Like,
mean-
you can't say anything anymore.
No, yeah. I mean, think about it. Like the stand-up, that's what's hurting the most is the stand-up comedians. I mean, if you have to watch what you say on there, that is the place for free speech.
Yes.
And dude, if you can't say anything
Unfiltered,
there,
yes.
dude, come on. Like it's crazy
Yeah, it's really
that we're in this. But I think it's going to be something that like fixes itself.
Well,
People
it'll balance out.
Yeah, but what I'm scared of is that we've gone so far this way. I'm scared when the pendulum goes this way,
Fling
it's
back
going to
the other
go
way.
real far that way. And
You're
then
right,
we're going to
that
be like, some fuck, dude. Like, it can get crazy. Think about it, because people are going to have enough of this. When it goes this, I'm watching it, bro.
You're probably right,
I mean, we got to
unfortunately.
stop in the middle.
Right, yeah, stop the momentum in the middle.
And then it's going to just keep going. And then we're all going to be like, what? Like, that was what this was all about. It was all for this, so I watch it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm making sure Trump doesn't flip or do anything kind of crazy, which he already does.
Yeah,
but,
Trump not do something crazy.
Yeah, but I'm just like, I don't want to make sure that we don't go that way.
Right. Yeah.
Because seriously,
First day
think about it.
Bob
Wouldn't that
Marley's
be
motherfuckers.
Trump gets standing ovations when he comes
Yeah,
to
he's
the
like,
UFC
all
fights.
immigrants go back to go back southern of the border, and you know what? All the Mexicans too, and while we're at it, all the blacks. Whoa,
Whoa, easy.
hold on, guys.
Yeah, man. That's true. It really is. That's you're right. It could happen, man.
I'm serious, because think about all the immigrants coming over here now, and then so if things start fixing itself, what are we going to do?
Right.
There's going to be ways where are there going to be ID cards now? Where we're all going to have like a national ID card with a chip in it?
Aren't they saying this real ID
Real
thing?
ID, yeah.
Yes, wouldn't that be the perfect way to bring it in? Like all of a sudden we need
It's like
these
mandatory
real
by,
IDs.
like, summer of
with
next
a chip
year.
in it, with a chip,
You
and then
can't
next
even get on the
you're like,
plane without
You know
it.
what? I'd rather have it in my hand. I'd
you
rather
see-
have it on my forehead.
Did you see
already
that
talked
thing
about
at Whole
shit.
Foods? Like you
Yeah,
pay with your
yeah.
hand.
God.
Yeah, it's like you go to check out and you just scan your
Oh,
hand.
that lady's like,
pass
oh,
on
this
that.
is so neat. This is
Yeah,
so
100%.
She has no idea. This is so creative.
Bro, I was looking at that shit. I was like, wait, what is this? Like, wave your hand. And then I started like, so as I was watching it, it like had like some information popping up. Oh yeah, for the ease, it'll just save your palm print and it'll be like link to you, blah, 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 blah. I was like, what
Link
the
to your debit
fuck?
card.
Pass on that.
Bro, that's for some AI shit to be happening.
Oh, I mean, the amount of time I'll bring up some random thing. Next day, I'm getting ads for it left and right.
Yes.
On my
The
phone
weird
for
part is,
weeks.
Yeah, the
For
weird part
weeks.
is, I get it if you search it, but sometimes I've talked about it and had that happen.
I'm just-
And
I
I'm
just
like,
talked
I know
about
I
it.
haven't searched it.
Talked
That's
about
what's weirded me
That's
out.
what I'm saying.
Dude, have you ever thought something and it
For
pops
sure.
up in your phone? I swear that's happened to me.
Yeah.
That's happened to me too, actually.
Yeah,
now
well, I'm
that I
like,
think
I
about it.
know I wasn't saying that out loud.
Hacked our
The
mind.
vaccine, damn it. It's inside of me.
I would never say that out loud.
Yeah, man. It's who knows where we're gonna go in the next few years. Man.
It's going to be interesting. I
going
mean,
such
we'll
a
see either
rapid
like
pace.
we'll either see like the extinction of humanity, or we're going to graduate. That's why I see it. We're going to graduate, or it's game over,
Yeah,
and it's
hopefully-
AI
Yeah,
completely.
hopefully AI will be great, not bad, but I think
Yeah.
it's
Now-
probably
now-
more likely to be bad.
Now
Yeah.
the government said they've admitted the aliens are it's like
Come on, I mean, people have been talking about that for years. About like they're going to play that card. They're going to play it, and what? Oh, all of a sudden they're here.
Yeah, right.
They
Well,
just-
now now the AI is getting good enough to
Yeah,
fake it. I
exactly.
think that, and now all of a sudden they started releasing videos
Yes.
and saying they
now they're
have,
like, you know what? Now we can use the hologram technology. Now we can really fool people.
Right.
Same thing.
Scarier than COVID. Aliens are out there.
exactly. What will keep people in lockdowns? Oh, there's aliens outside. Better stay inside.
I remember during COVID, they wouldn't even let you go for a walk outside. In California, it was really
I'm
bad.
in California too. That's why I
California was
moved.
atrocious.
They closed the beaches.
Yeah, you couldn't go for
I
a
went out
walk
to the
in the
hiking trails.
neighborhood.
Yeah, the hiking trails all shut off.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, I can't go out hiking in the
and go
wilderness?
walk outside.
You'd see that person walking by
they put a
themselves on the
curfew,
beach
but then there's
with a
like-
mask.
Oh, yeah.
Like, come on.
I went for a hike out like in the middle of nowhere, and people were like, Max wasn't wearing a mask outside, like almost got in fights. Like,
Yeah.
I'm getting the hell out
It
of
was like-
California.
it
People are
was like-
crazy.
Yeah, everyone was snitching. And then
Yeah.
you couldn't cough. Like, God forbid you cough over something. It's like everyone looks at you like, he's a zombie. He's infected. You got to take him down.
You know what's coming back is leprosy. Did you see this?
I heard about
Nice.
it.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Leprosy?
Yeah, it's back in full out like in Florida. Yeah. It just seems like they're just trying to
All-
do
all
anything
the crazy
to,
shit in
to
Florida.
detour people from going to that state. They're like, stop coming here. We got leprosy.
Leprosy is way scarier than COVID.
Yeah, I don't want leprosy.
Yeah. Which shows the COVID thing was so crazy, which shows how crazy it was that Dana was able to pull off what he did. Because I know, I was with Tony during that whole thing, and I mean, we had like 3 different venues that kept getting busted and shut down, and like someone would sniff it out and go and snitch to like the state, the athletic commission, it was just kept getting shut down and ended up being in Jacksonville. But I mean,
I thought it was really messed up is Dana was going to do it in Native American and reservation, right?
that's what we originally was supposed to do.
But that's not considered California. That's supposed to be their independent sovereign land. But Gavin Newsom didn't respect
That's
that.
what I'm saying.
He called
Shut it
like
down.
the head of Disney.
Yeah, the head of
Shut it
Disney
down.
shut it down.
I can't believe he got
insane.
no like crap from
That's
that because
crazy.
people are supposed to care about their sovereignty, and he didn't respect
And
it.
when
he tried
he-
claiming he
Wow.
owned that land, and he doesn't own that land. That
Yeah.
was their land.
Yeah, when he had booked that, it was like a casino or something.
Yeah,
Because
It
it's
was
not
on-
considered
it was on the-
California.
it was on the
It's,
res.
it's,
And when
that. It's
he
their
had-
independent land.
Right, and when he booked it, nobody knew. Like only the people that were fighting on the inside knew, and it still got out and got shut down within the
Crazy,
week.
because,
Yeah. But yeah, it was impressive when he brought that back, and
I had a lot
remember-
I forgot about
a lot of
that.
respect for Dana for doing
I remember
that.
I went with Tony to we were like the quarantine hotel and everything, and they were testing us. This is like in the beginning when they're putting that thing in your
I hated that.
brain.
Worst.
But it was hilarious because we're there with an Eddie Bravo, and I'm not worried about it. I was like, worst case, if we're positive, we're positive. And then Eddie incepts it in my brain. He goes, "Can you imagine if in front of all these people right now, one of us pops hot?" If they're gonna have guys in like hazmat suits taking us out of here, it's gonna be all over these MMA media outlets. He's like, if it happened to me, I will not get work for condoms. And I'm like, thanks, Eddie. Now I'm sweating bullets for the 10 minutes until this lady gives me my result. But
I just saw on my floor when I was walking to my room, some lady was wearing a mask, and I always, whenever I see someone still wearing masks, I make sure to cough a lot when I'm passing by, and I'm like,
I'm gonna start doing that.
I'm gonna start doing that too.
that's
That's
genius.
just, and then
That's
embedded in
genius.
more like, this is why I wear it.
Someone asked me yesterday, they're like, do they wear the mask because they don't want to get us sick, or are they worried that we're going to get this? I'm like, it's the latter. They're worried we're going to get them sick.
Yeah, they're programmed.
Yeah.
It's completely programmed.
But there's people that were wearing those masks before the pandemic even happened.
There's a few people.
lot of
like
Asians.
a few
Chinese.
only
A-
Asians always wear masks.
Yeah.
They
Like
do.
I would go to Japan. They used to do it, but that's
Yeah.
no non-Asians were doing it before.
Yeah.
Bro, I never even knew like what it was called. I used to call it the SARS mask because that's when we started seeing it.
Yes,
right?
I was
After
the SARS mask.
Bro,
exactly.
here's a funny story. Ray and I, we went out to Japan and we flew on, I think it was Singapore Airlines, and the people that were sitting next to us like had terrible odor. And I asked the flight attendant, I was like, "Hey, you got a SARS mask? Like, can I get a SARS mask?" She's like, "Oh yeah," she knew exactly what I was talking about. So she got me the mask, put the mask on. This is
Smelled
back
better?
in like, yeah, way better. Rather smell my own breath than somebody's odor.
I remember I had that thing on for so often that when I didn't have it on, I thought I would like clawed it.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, it's not even on me. Like it was dark times, man. That shit was
What about when we were flying?
There's someone with a
dude,
mask
and
right now
then-
walking by.
Yeah, oh,
right there it is. He's waving at us. Hey.
he's like, he's thinking to himself, "I'm safe. I'm safe, you idiots." Yeah.
Yeah, man.
These
Crazy times.
conspiracy theorists.
Yeah. Man, guys, great talking to you guys. It's been fun. I know you guys have a lot of stuff to do today. We've been sitting here for an hour, chatting it up. Love to have you guys come back on. We'll do it again. this is a safe zone where we can say whatever we want. It's unfiltered. We don't have to
Beautiful.
worry about anyone censoring us. So it's been
I'll go
fun.
back to the roulette table and lose some more money. Feel better about myself.
Maybe you'll win it back. Not like
There you go. Yeah, during the week you can win here. Actually, the weekends are
like,
never
no.
gamble
I
Saturdays.
felt so proud about myself yesterday. I won. I was like, yes. And then today,
Just right back. Here you go.
yeah. I'm like,
And this is how Vegas was built.
Yes, just
Look
like
at how
that.
nice everything is.
Keep them coming back.
Yeah,
and
it's not,
playing.
it's not very often you win. That's why I'm not going to gamble.
It just gets my mind off my issues.
Yeah, every now and again, friends are in town. I'll go gamble with you guys. I always lose. Maybe once because I'll get up and I just lose it all.
We should all hit the roulette table after this and go see what Lady Luck has in store for us. Appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. Thanks for
Appreciate
having
you
us.
all.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you.
Right on.